Imagine for a second a weapon on the ancient battlefield that has the raw power of a giant crossbow, but the pinpoint precision of a modern sniper rifle. Well, that was the Ballista, a truly fearsome engine of war that was just as much a marvel of engineering as it was a tool of destruction. But here's the thing, the Ballista wasn't just about launching big projectiles, it was about control. For the very first time, armies could systematically take down enemy defenses, or, even crazier, pick off key targets from a safe distance. It completely changed the roles of ancient warfare.
So we're going to trace its incredible story, all the way from the early Greek inventors who first figured out how to harness its power, to the Roman legions who basically perfected it. And we'll even see how this ancient superweapon has left its mark on our world today.
So what was the secret sauce? How did the Ballista become so dominant? Well, it really came down to a combination of incredible engineering. You had immense power, unbelievable range, and a level of accuracy that was, frankly, unheard of at the time. Okay, so the power source, it was revolutionary. Instead of a simple bowstring, the Ballista used what are called torsion springs, basically massive bundles of twisted animal sinew. That stored energy could launch heavy bolts or even stones over 500 yards. This made it a huge threat everywhere, from sieges to open battles, and even at sea. And this quote from Julius Caesar really tells you everything you need to know about its psychological impact. When he invaded Britain, he didn't just bring soldiers, he brought technology. He actually mounted ballistae on his ships to clear the beaches. And the sight of these bizarre machines was so terrifying to the British defenders that they just fell back. The weapon could demoralize an enemy before a single Roman boot hit the sand. But of course, a machine this incredible didn't just pop up out of nowhere. So let's rewind a bit and look at where it all began, back in ancient Greece. The story really starts around 400 BCE with a kind of oversized handheld crossbow called a gastrophetes, or belly bow. But the real game changer was Philip II of Macedon. He put together a whole team of engineers just to innovate his army's weapons. And then his son, the one and only Alexander the Great, took it to the next level. His engineers are the ones who perfected the design, swapping out the simple bow for those powerful torsion springs. And just like that, the Ballista we know was born. Now, you read all these old historical accounts, and they're constantly talking about the Ballista's accuracy. Stories about it picking off a single soldier from way across the battlefield. But that brings up a really important question. I mean, besides these old stories, what hard proof do we actually have? Well, the answer comes from archaeology. And trust me, it's as dramatic as any story you'll read. Okay, take a look at this. This is the spine of a British defender from the hill fort of Maiden Castle in England. And see that thing lodged in his vertebrae? That is the iron bolt head from a Roman ballista fired during an invasion in the 1st century AD. This isn't just a story anymore. This is cold, hard, forensic evidence. And that's the whole point right there. Hitting one person from a distance, especially in the chaos of a battle, shows an absolutely incredible level of precision. This wasn't just about throwing projectiles in the general direction of the enemy. This was about targeting and eliminating specific threats. But if you think that's impressive, the most mind-blowing evidence for the Ballista's sniper-like abilities comes from another fort right nearby called Hod Hill. Here, Roman forces, also commanded by the future Emperor Vespasian, carried out what you can only call a strategic, targeted strike. This diagram tells the whole story. Archaeologists mapped out exactly where every single bolt landed, and the pattern is just unmistakable. They aren't scattered around randomly. Nope. They are all tightly clustered around one high-value target, the huts belonging to the tribal chieftain. And the numbers are just staggering. From about 130 meters away, a full 11 iron bolt heads were found inside the main chieftain's hut. Think about that. The Romans weren't just randomly attacking the fort, they were systematically trying to take out its leadership to force the surrender. It's no wonder the lead archaeologist, Sir Ian Richmond, said it demonstrated the deadly and devastating precision of the weapon. This was basically a surgical strike, ancient world style. So, you have to be asking yourself, how is this level of accuracy and power even possible? Well, the answer is all in the engineering, and it comes down to a key design change that the Romans absolutely perfected. The big leap forward was a really simple but totally brilliant adjustment. You see, the original Greek design, the eutetanon, had the arms mounted outside the frame. The Romans, with their palintenaton design, moved them inside the frame. It sounds like a tiny change, but it unlocked a massive increase in power.
This diagram shows you exactly why that one change mattered so much. See on the left with the Greek design? The arms are stopped by the frame, which limits their swing. But look at the Roman design on the right. The arms can swing through a much, much wider arc. And a wider swing means a longer and way more powerful launch.
And that longer power stroke was a total game changer. It let the torsion springs store and release way more energy. What does that mean? It means higher projectile speed, greater range, and the ability to fire heavier ammo more effectively. Basically, Roman engineering took a great weapon and made it absolutely lethal.
But the Romans didn't stop with just making it more powerful. They also made it more versatile. They shrunk the design down into smaller, portable versions like the Scorpio and the cart-mounted car Ballista. And this was huge. It turned artillery from something you only use in a siege into a flexible weapon that legions could use anywhere on the battlefield. Now, eventually, the ballista's time on the battlefield came to an end, as new technologies came along. But its influence, well, that's far from gone.
I mean, just think about the word ballistics, the modern science of how projectiles fly through the air. That word comes directly from ballista. Every single time we talk about ballistics, we're giving a little nod to this ancient Roman war machine. Its legacy is literally baked into the language of science. When you really boil it down, the ballista represents something much bigger than just a weapon. It marks this fundamental shift in warfare itself, the moment when the advantage started to go to superior technology and precision engineering, not just simple brute force. From its beginnings in Greece to its perfection under the Romans, the ballista's story is just an amazing testament to ancient ingenuity. It's proof that a well-designed machine could be just as deadly as any sword and could truly change the course of history. Which kind of makes you wonder, right? What other secrets of ancient engineering are still out there, just waiting for us to discover them?